You are more than light. You are darkness too. Carl Jung said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." What if your hidden fears, your doubts, your shame, are not dead? Wait, what if they are the spark that lights your true path? Imagine discovering your purpose, not through your strengths, but through your shadows. What if the parts you hide are the parts that will set you free? In this film, we're going into the depths of the human soul. We'll walk with Carl Jung, we'll walk with your shadow, and we'll discover how it can guide you to the reason you were born. A quiet mountain cabin in Switzerland. A young psychiatrist restless. Inside him lies a secret world. Carl Gustav Jung lived with a constant mirror inside his mind. He pursued the unseen. He named our hidden companions the persona, the collectives, and the shadow. The shadow was not a villain. It was not your enemy. It was a guide, a teacher, the missing piece of the puzzle. Jung believed we cannot become whole without it. He believed life's true purpose is revealed in the darkness, not in light alone. He called it individuation, the journey to become yourself. We all have a mask, a version we show the world, the confident face, the calm voice, the "I'm fine" smile. But inside, there's resistance, criticism, fear, shame, sometimes anger. A mother who wants love, but becomes harsh. A student who excels but feels empty. A friend who smiles but cries at night. These hidden parts are the shadow. We push them away, we bury them. We pretend they don't exist, yet the more we hide, the more they control. They show up as projection. In our relationships, in our dreams, in our moments of rage. Carl Jung studied people like this. He saw how the shadow emerges uninvited, until we face it ourselves. There came a moment, not academic, not neat, raw. Jung faced rejection, the break with Freud, the isolation. He suffered. He questioned. He almost surrendered, but instead, he dove deeper into himself. He met his dreams. He allowed his darkness to speak. In that confrontation, something shifted, not destruction. A new voice emerged. A compass. He didn't retreat from his fear. He embraced it. He became wilder, more creative, more alive. And that was when the path to individuation began. This is where our journey begins. We will walk the path of the shadow. We'll learn how to recognize it, how to face it, and how to let it emerge as purpose. You will hear stories, real people, feel their pain. Watch their transformation. By the end, you may see your own shadow differently. Not as your enemy, but as your map. This isn't just psychology. This is your destiny. Have you ever wondered why you keep making the same mistakes? Why certain patterns repeat in your life, no matter how much you try to change? A failed relationship, a toxic friendship, a career choice that feels empty. It's as if some invisible force, is pulling the strings behind the scenes. Carl Jung had a name for this force. He called it the shadow. The shadow isn't evil. It isn't a monster hiding under your bed. It's the part of you that you've locked away, the anger you suppress, the jealousy you deny, the pain you pretend doesn't exist. You see, when we grow up, we're told to be good, to smile, to behave, to hide what's unacceptable. So we bury parts of ourselves deep in our unconscious. But here's the truth: what you bury doesn't die. It waits, it whispers, and when you least expect it, it controls you. Think about the last time you overreacted to something small. That sudden rage, that fear that made no sense, that self-sabotage right when success was near. That's your shadow, acting out, begging to be seen. Jung wrote, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. How many lives are lost, not by death, but by never truly being lived? How many dreams are abandoned because fear ruled in silence? How many relationships are destroyed because pain was never healed? Homes shift to a deeper emotional tone. But here's the thing. This shadow isn't here to destroy you. It's here to show you who you really are, the very parts of you you've denied. Hold the key to your purpose. The shadow. We all have one. It's the part of us we try to hide, bury, or ignore. But what if I told you that the very thing you run from could reveal the deepest purpose of your life? This is not just philosophy. This is survival. This is transformation. This is Carl Jung's timeless message. The shadow knows who you are and who you can become. Imagine this. A child grows up hearing, "Don't cry, don't be weak," so he hides his sensitivity. A girl is told, "Stop being so angry," so she swallows her rage. We learn to split ourselves, to show the world what's acceptable and lock away the rest. That hidden part doesn't die, it waits, it grows stronger, and one day, it erupts. Carl Jung saw this. He called it the shadow, the unconscious side of us that holds everything we reject. Fear, anger, envy, desire, but also our forgotten strength, passion, and creativity. This is a journey into that darkness, into the human soul. A journey that could change your life. What happens when you stop running from your shadow? When you face it, when you integrate it, we'll meet those who did. Ordinary people who dared to confront themselves and discovered extraordinary lives. We'll explore Jung's own battles, his breakdowns, his visions, his encounters with the unknown. And we'll uncover how turning inward can ignite the purpose you've been searching for all along. This is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming whole. So stay with me, because by the end of this story, you may never look at yourself the same way again. Carl Jung wasn't always the wise figure we know today. There was a time when he stood at the edge of his own darkness. It was 1930. Europe trembled on the brink of war, and Jung was at war with himself. For years, he had lived in the shadow of Sigmund Freud. Freud had been his mentor, his guiding light. But deep inside, Jung began to feel a fracture. His own ideas, his own truths, were clawing to get out. He couldn't ignore them anymore. And when he finally broke away from Freud, it shattered him. Suddenly, he was alone. No mentor, no certainty, only an ocean of doubt. He began to experience strange visions, terrifying images of blood flooding Europe, monsters emerging from the depths, voices whispering in the silence. He feared he was going mad. But here's what's extraordinary. Instead of running from it, Jung turned toward it. He began what he called his confrontation with the unconscious. Every night, he would close his eyes and dive into the chaos, into his fear, into his shadow. He wrote what he saw. He drew what he felt. These became the pages of the Red Book, a secret journal he kept for decades, a map of his journey through the dark. And here's the crucial insight. Jung discovered that his madness was not madness at all. It was a message from the parts of himself he had long ignored. We all carry a shadow. A hidden part of us that whispers in the dark, a side we deny, a side we avoid. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." This is not just a quote, it is a warning, a challenge, a key to unlocking who you really are. Sound fades into a quiet, tense silence. When you were a child, you learned quickly what was acceptable. You were praised when you behaved. You were scolded when you didn't. Little by little, parts of you were pushed away. Your anger, your sadness, your wildness, your truth. You learned to hide them. You built a mask to survive. But here's the question. What happens to the parts of you that you bury? Do they disappear, or do they wait in the shadows? This is where Jung's idea of the shadow enters. It's not evil, it's not bad. It is simply what you have refused to face. Your insecurities, your jealousy, your fears, your desires that they live inside you. And if you ignore them, they control you. Think of the times you overreacted to something small, the times you sabotaged yourself, the times you felt an emotion you couldn't explain. That's your shadow speaking. But here's the beauty. Inside that shadow also lies your purpose. Because what you repress is often what you secretly long to express. That dream you abandoned because someone laughed at you, it's there. That passion you buried because the world told you to be realistic, it's there. That voice inside you saying, "There's more to life than this," it's there. Music builds, cinematic strings rising, to embrace your shadow is to reclaim your life. It is to look at yourself fully and say, "Yes, this is me, all of me." But how do you do that? How do you face what you've spent years running from? It begins with awareness. Take a quiet moment. Ask yourself, what triggers me? What do I judge harshly in others? Because what you reject in others often reflects what you reject in yourself. Notice your patterns, your habits, your excuses. Write them down. Own them. This is the doorway. And then something miraculous happens. The anger you once feared, it becomes your power to set boundaries. The sadness you avoided, it becomes your depth, your empathy. The wildness you suppressed, it becomes your creativity, your fire. Your shadow is not your enemy. It is your teacher. Music swells into a climactic moment. Carl Jung didn't just give us psychology. He gave us a map to wholeness. He showed us that our purpose is not found in perfection. It's found in integration, in becoming real, in living a life where nothing inside you is exiled. So I ask you, what part of you is waiting in the dark? What gift is hiding in what you fear the most? The moment you turn toward it, the moment you say, "I am ready," your life will change. Not tomorrow, not someday, now.